not the proper authority. Their own mind or sentiments was still the final authority, which is why they still reject the whole purpose for becoming Catholic, which is that outside the Catholic Church there is no salvation. They have not made an act of faith. By definition, remember, it's an entire submission or full submission of intellect and will to all that God has revealed. Now, does this mean simply we need to convince them they haven't made an act of faith? Well, that might be one way to start. The best way of learning tactics and methods, though, I would recommend All Roads Ministry, which is the #1 apologetics organization to teach you tactics and methods of how to approach people on any subject. Nevertheless, we need to make sure ourselves we've made full submission of intellect and will to all that God reveals. Now, yes, there is a further way of growing in the faith. We all are supposed to be growing in our faith every day by learning more about it, learning the consequences of all the truths, what they mean in our lives, etc., then conforming our lives to that. Yes, that's not what we're talking about here. What it is we are to believe is immediate. It's immediate submission of intellect and will. I believe all that what God has revealed is necessary for belief. I believe all that the church teaches is necessary in faith and morals. You actually don't even have to know specific dogmas to actually hold the faith properly. You just have to make that full submission of will and intellect. Then you can discover it as you go on. But you've already made the submission, intellect and will. And therefore, by God's grace, if you truly have the faith, you will accept it as soon as you see it. As the good Father Feeney and Brother Francis and many others have said, you can judge someone by goodwill simply by stating a truth to them. If they reject it right offhand, at that moment, they're not of goodwill. We're not talking about what sort of degree of goodwill, because we all have goodwill to different degrees. The fact is, if the truth was rejected right then and there was no full submission of intellect and will to all that God has revealed. That is conversion in the first sense, as Brother Andre Marie talked about, which is the initial convert. That's what it entails. Full submission of intellect and will. Who do we go out to convert? Of course, Protestants. And as Mr. Lewis has made quite clear, anyone who's not truly a Catholic, a dogmatic Catholic, is really Protestant by nature, ultimately. So all these people who profess to be Catholics, and I don't want to simply put them in the Novus Ordo grouping, right? How many of us have been attacked by fellow so-called traditionalists on the dogma? Then they don't hold the faith in its entirety and purity. They're no different than Protestants.